Protein quality doesn't matter. Actually, yes, it does. No, the truth is both are true. What depends on is how much protein you intake. If you take in a high amount of protein, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, the quality of the protein doesn't matter. If your protein intake is below that, then it definitely makes a difference.
So if you weren't confused before this podcast started, you are now.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. No, so studies done on protein. There's a lot of studies done on protein, athletic performance, muscle building. If your protein intake is within what they would consider that optimal range, which is roughly around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight in normal weight individuals, then whether it's from plant, egg, whey, animal, like as long as they're complete proteins, doesn't make a difference really.
Just going to utilize it all the same.
But if it's below that, then it makes a difference. Then if you find, let's say you're eating half that amount of protein or less, well then animal protein is superior to plant protein. So when I used to train clients, I focused a lot on protein quality because it was almost impossible to get clients to eat, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. But if I was training like a bodybuilder or like a fitness fanatic, I didn't care so much about what kind of protein they took in.
Now, where do amino acid supplementation fit into this?
Amino acid, there's a lot of studies on amino acid intake, branched amino acids, essential amino acids, and it doesn't make a difference if protein intake is high. Yeah. If protein intake is low, branched chain amino acid intake or essential amino acid intake makes a big difference. So if you're one of those people that just eats low protein, supplementing with those things can really make a big difference with recovery. But if your protein intake's high, it's literally burning money.
So right, but I think with that in mind, like supplementing with protein powders versus amino, I'm just trying to think of the avatar of the person. Is it like the ultra endurance runner that may, benefit more from also supplementing with aminos, or is it just like I focus on getting protein exclusively and it's going to cover it?
Yeah, so when I trained endurance athletes, I would have them take, because 10 grams of whey protein will have more branched amino acids than 4 branched amino acid pills. So I would have them do that.
Right.
But who used to benefit the most from amino acid supplements were my vegans, because they had a tough. Now, if I could talk them into taking like a vegan protein, like if we had Organifi back then with their vegan protein that tastes amazing, I would have been like, take Organifi protein. But a lot of them it was tough for them to get the right amount of protein. Protein supplements back there were terrible. The vegan sources were terrible. They tasted like garbage. They couldn't take whey because it was animal sourced.
Yeah.
So I'd have them supplement with essential amino acids or branched amino acids. They would notice a difference. But their intake was slow, you know?
So is it still a thing that in some gyms and bodybuilders will still kind of sip on their amino drinks in between sets and whatnot? Is it like
waste?
Yeah, that's still, especially for that group. Because that group ain't missing their protein intake.
No,
they're not missing their protein. Now, when I was in my early 20s, I used to take branched chain amino acid pills, like 6 to 8 of these things at night, and I used to do it when I either knew for sure or had a feeling I didn't hit my protein intake. But based off of what you're saying, I would have been far better off, taking a scoop of Organifi protein powder and mixing it with water real quick and chugging that down, then swallowing the 6 to 8 pills.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's the part where I think people are mistaking the advice that we give. It's not so much that, branched chain amino acids don't work at all. It's just that, what they do in comparison to something like a half a scoop of protein powder would do, it's like you're going to get as much, if not more, benefits from that. And if you're using it with that in mind, like, oh, I'm taking these pills because I don't think I got enough protein intake for the day. Okay, well, instead of doing that, go get yourself a scoop of whey protein, mix it with water, slam it real quick, and you're going to get more benefit.
Like Doug, maybe you can look up how much leucine is in 10 grams of whey protein or something like that. Like you're going to get more leucine, isoleucine, and valine, which are the branched amino acids, in 5 grams of whey protein than you would from 5 pills of branched amino acids. Now
that's whey. What about something like Organifi?
It's going to have a lower amount of branched amino acids, but still a lot because they're complete proteins. So you're looking at 10 grams of protein from plant-based proteins. You're still going to get 2 or 3 grams of branched amino acids in there, which would be a lot of pills, right? So and all the other essential amino acids, which also have benefit, and then the non-essential ones, which if your protein intake is not at that optimal rate, like all the amino acids make a difference. So 11% of whey would be leucine. So that's it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
So people, like I remember one person in particular was a friend of mine. We would do jujitsu together. He was a vegan, And, we were talking about this once, and I would tell him about protein, and he goes, well, I don't like, all the protein powders that are vegan taste disgusting. He's like one of those guys that just, people who are super fitness fanatics, we tend to like not care about the taste of stuff. But he's like, they're gross. Like, and I was, we're talking about his diet, and I figured, he's probably only eating like 60 grams of protein a day. He's a 200 and something pound guy. So I said, take branched amino acid pills before and after jujitsu and see if you notice a difference. And he's like, bro, game changer. Now, he would have noticed way more of a game-changing, effect if he just took
The protein powder.
Yeah, protein powder.
Yeah.
But yeah, protein quality, it mattered to the clients that I trained because getting a client to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight was it was so hard. It was so hard to do because it's so satiety producing, and people don't realize how hard it is. Even 130 grams of protein, for somebody who's 150 pounds, that's a lot of protein.
I guess you could make the case then for somebody who is an athlete. Like I'm thinking back to when I was playing basketball a lot and lifting weights and struggling to build muscle, that I probably would have benefited from taking the branched chain amino acids before and after the workout, knowing that 60% of the time I'm only hitting my protein intake. And so sure, half the time I'm taking it and it's not really doing anything for me, but at least I'm getting it on the other half of the time when I'm definitely low. And so there would be some value there. Because I guess that's the case where I see, and
this is why a lot of people see value when they supplement with it.
Right. And I understand too the idea of, consistently taking something so you get in the routine and habit. So, okay, good. You hit your protein intake. Yeah, I'm kind of wasting money by just taking these 6 to 8 pills today, but I'm staying in the routine of doing that because I know overall I tend to miss consistently, and so then there's some value.
Well, what's
there.
easier? You guys trained lots of people like I did. Like, what's easier, getting someone to take, 5 pills before their workouts, or hit their protein intake targets?
5 pills.
Yeah. So this is why so many people are like, oh, I see the studies.
That's why it's such a big market. That's why it sells so much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works because people don't hit their protein. But if you hit your protein targets,
Then it's a waste.
Total waste of money.